Most wholesalers run a certain marketing source because they hear from their buddy or someone else say that it actually works. But in reality, if you want to be successful in wholesaling real estate and getting consistent motivated sellers, you have to know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you're actually going to get from it.
If you just do what's required of you and do the boring work, that's what will get you where you need to go.
Now, when it comes to marketing to get motivated sellers in wholesaling, there's three different categories, what we call the bottom, the middle, and the top of funnel. Now, really, this applies to any industry as far as marketing in general, but I'm going to explain exactly in each category of which marketing methods actually fall into each bucket, because each one of these do different things, and each one of these have different time frames and different strategies on how to get motivated sellers, which is going to react with different motivated sellers that actually will come through. Some will be less motivated than others, where others will be really motivated. However, they're very, very hard to get. So we'll start off with the top of funnel. Now, this is where you basically have to start out with if you have a lot of time and no money when you're starting out in wholesaling real estate, which is most of us. And so top of funnel, this is where you start out with basically cold outreach, because top of funnel is essentially you are targeting people who are very, very, very not like, it is completely random, to be honest. This is where why we call it top of funnel is because it starts at the top and eventually you get down to the bottom of where that person's actually motivated to sell. So this is why cold calling, cold texting, and different things like that is very, very top of funnel, because yes, it is random, but also you can talk to these people who are motivated to sell, and they might be, I'll be ready to sell in a year or two, but you keep following up with those people forever, and eventually they are ready to sell. The good thing about that is you get the drop on these motivated sellers way before anyone else can get to them. So that's always the nice part, even though sometimes it is annoying doing all that follow-up, but that's part of the top of the funnel process, just because they're so early on sometimes. You can get lucky with cold calling, don't get me wrong, you can have somebody ready to sell right now, but with cold calling, majority of the people are going to be top of funnel, not ready to sell yet, but will be at some point. It's important to keep in touch with these people. I mean, we're still closing deals each and every month from people who we've talked to for 2+ years, and so it's very, very important. And so basically what this, like I said, cold calling, cold texting, broad YouTube ads, broad Facebook ads, things like that, where there's really no targeting to it, there's not really an algorithm to it, it's more so let's just throw it out there. We are throwing the widest fish net we can possibly get to catch really anyone who might be possibly interested to sell. And that's why it's so popular, just because this is the cheapest way to market, 100%. It's just that the quality of the motivated sellers are going to be a lot less, just because they aren't as valuable yet. So that's why top of funnel and all this stuff with cold calling and stuff, it is much cheaper to do. And that's why I recommend, if you are starting out, you have a lot of time but no money, this is exactly where you need to start. So here we are now to the middle of the funnel. So now these people have transitioned from, I'm thinking about selling. Now they're like, okay, it's more of a serious thing. Like, I'm going to start maybe reaching out to people. We'll see. They're really in that middle of the phase where they're not ready. They're not at the 1 yard line, but they're definitely ready to go at some point, and it's going to come up here in the near future. And so middle of the funnel is what I like to say when targeting for motivated sellers. It's targeted, but not targeted at the same time. Like, most of this would be Facebook ads, YouTube ads, direct mail, and broad match PPC. This PPC meaning a pay-per-click with Google ads. And so this is where it's like, okay, this isn't bottom of the funnel by any means. Running YouTube ads, running Facebook ads, running direct mail, and this like that. It's not like they are bottom of the funnel ready to sell. However, you can structure these things to make sure that it is only targeting the people who are probably most likely to sell, right? With direct mail, you can send out to a certain list that you are like, okay, there's a high likelihood these people that will probably pluck 1 or 2 out of here, because the chances of someone in this situation or this category wants to sell is very likely. Same thing with Facebook and YouTube ads. You can set up your algorithm, you can set up your audiences to make sure that it is targeting people who have probably looked into things on Google or looked into things on their phone, and it's now going to funnel them into your Facebook ad, because Facebook and YouTube realizes with their algorithm that, okay, you are probably somewhat looking to sell, you have a very high likelihood chance, so we're going to throw this ad in front of you. So that's like middle of funnel. Where bringing into the bottom of the funnel, this is where people are very, very, very motivated. They are at the 1 yard line. They're like, we need to sell right now. We are ready to go within the next 30 days. And this is exactly where it's awesome to get motivated sellers, because it is a fast turnaround. And that's why the marketing here is also very difficult and expensive, right? Because everybody wants motivated sellers just like this. That's where you're getting into more of the SEO, the Google SEO, which is Google search engine optimization. This is where you're ranking your website and your Google business profile to show up for people on Google who are looking up cash home buyers near me, or people who buy houses near near me, anything like that. You're showing up organically, which is very difficult to do in most places. And also, what classifies in this is high intent pay-per-click, meaning the clicks that you are getting are very transactional keywords, meaning they are very, very motivated to sell in some facet. They could be like, how to sell my house super quick, or same keywords as SEO, but companies that buy houses for cash. It's the same thing as SEO, except you have a lot more control with it. You can be a little bit more broad, and it's nice to also make sure that you're getting a little bit more key terms and a little bit more control, making sure what you can actually rank for, because SEO sometimes is a little bit unpredictable, but it's also nice to have in the same boat. So that's also included as high intent PPC, as well as these two things are massive, which is organic brand traffic as well as referrals. Now, organic brand traffic could be anything. They could have seen your Facebook ads, seen your direct mail. They could have looked you up on Google for your reviews, and they were like, oh, they typed in your company name and they came through your website or your Google profile, or gave you a call through looking up your company. That's huge, because that is just basically what that tells you, is that it's a plethora of pieces of the different pieces of the pie of marketing putting into effect, because now they remember your company name, right? And that's the best, because that just shows you that all the pieces of marketing that you are running with all those facets are now coming together, so people actually know who you are. Now, when they look you up through your company, more than likely, they are going to stay a little bit more, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt rather than other companies, because if they come through with your company name, they've seen your marketing, now you have their trust. If you are converting them through your company name on Google or whatever, your chances of getting that deal are 10 times more likely than anyone else ever getting that deal at the end of the day, just because they have automatic trust of who you are. So that's why it's also big. But the last thing also is referrals, most commonly realtor referrals. This is huge, because if you can get in on this, which if you want to go watch my interview with Cole Shaw this last week, go ahead and watch that. It's a great watch. He talks all about it. He's a guy I've known for years in my market and crushes it with realtor referrals, and he knows exactly what to do and has been doing it for years. But the best part about it is, of course, it's free to do this, but also these people are ready to go, and they already have the trust from their realtor, and their realtor trusts you so that you can put the pieces together and get a deal done. And so those people are more than likely not going anywhere else. So when you get a realtor referral, there's about a 9 times out of 10 that you are going to have completely first right of refusal to that deal. So that's what's great about the bottom of the funnel. So if this all makes sense, if we go back to the area here, top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of the funnel, the further bottom you go to the funnel, the more expensive leads and more expensive of marketing it is, and more difficult that marketing is going to be. However, more value of the lead, if that makes sense. Now, there's not really one size fits all of how you can actually get a lot of leads. Most preferred, you need to get as many as possible. If you can get a few per piece of the funnel, that is what's preferred. Now, obviously, my company, we do very well with SEO. We do very well with PPC. We do very well with brand traffic. We get referrals, but we also do very well in some parts of the middle of the funnel. We also do pretty well in the top of funnel as well. So you have all these different pieces, and now obviously that's the long-term goal. You want to start with one of the pieces of the funnel. However, you can't start with all 3 of them right away. So what most people do is they start out with the cold calling, the cold texting at the top of the funnel, just because it is the cheapest. Now they start to afford a little bit of money. Now we're going to go after the middle of the funnel, because yes, it is a little bit more expensive. However, these leads are going to be there's a chance of them being way more motivated. Whereas once you get down to the biggest part of your business, and you have a lot of money to spend, you have consistency, and you have your systems down, and you have some capital to spend, this is where we get to the bottom of the funnel, and you can start competing with all these other people, because this is the hardest part of the industry to compete in, is the bottom of the funnel. So that is essentially where you need to be at. Now, obviously, you can start wherever you want. If you have a lot of money in no time, you can start at the bottom of the funnel if you'd like. It just takes a little bit of time. Like the marketing pieces at the bottom of the funnel take longer to actually start working, whereas the ones at the top of the funnel, you can get a lead that day, or cold calling, you can get something that day, even though I don't say that that's actually going to happen, but you get my point with the whole funnel idea. So otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Now, if you want to see other tutorials of me running through actually how to run some of this marketing, feel free to click the video up here for one of the tutorials that I have that I really suggest that you watch, because all the videos on my channel are all about getting motivated sellers and really breaking down the anatomy of how you can get as many motivated sellers as possible for the cheapest cost. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.